Hello guys, hope you're all well. Today I'm on a day walk in Suffolk again, and it's a little bit different. I've brought a friend from work along, Jake.
Hi guys.
That's Jake, and yeah, basically, what's it? It's your first time
walk,
out?
yeah, first camp, yeah.
First walk, yeah. So you were camping when you was younger though, weren't you? So,
yeah, when I was younger.
yeah, so it's sort of a bit like with my other mate Tommy, sort of a bit of a new experience for him. So yeah, so we're kicking off today. It's a Saturday. It is, what time is it? It's got to be about
1:30.
1:30. So we've been driving quite a while, so we got stuck in some traffic. Yeah, we're kicking off today with this day walk. It's a cut out from Country Walking magazine, Westleton. So that's where we are at the moment. It's an 8-mile walk. It's going to take us about 4 hours, and yeah, it's going to take in the little coastal town of Dunwich, which I visited when I did the Suffolk Coast path many years ago. Really, really nice place. A lot of history, lots of stuff to tell you about. So I'll save that for when we get there. We're going to make a start. The plan is for tonight as well, we're going to try and find somewhere along the coast to wild camp as well. There is actually a campsite not far away, but I don't fancy paying £27 for the night. And you know, wild camping, it's just, the experience is a lot better. I'm sure a lot of you will agree. So yeah, anyway, we're going to make a start, and I'll get back to you in a bit. Stay tuned. Situated a couple of miles inland from the coast, on the edge of heathland, is the lovely village of Westleton. As well as 2 good pubs and a shop, there's an unusual thatched roof church with no tower or spire, an attractive green and a charming duck pond. This route takes you through Dunwich Forest, following part of the waymarked Sandlins Walk to the coast at Dunwich, a small village today, but once one of the largest ports in England. We're heading towards Dunwich Forest now, and then out towards the coast. Okay, we're entering the forest at Westleton Heath National Nature Reserve, and once again it's part of the Suffolk Sandlins Walk. So yeah, this is the forest here. It's lovely, and then we're basically following that out to Dunwich on the coast, where it joins up with the Suffolk Coast path. So yeah, Jake's just been reading this. This is part of one of the largest remaining blocks of the Sandlins Heath, which once stretched southwards from here to Ipswich. The reserve is home to birds such as Dartford warblers, nightjar and stonechat, which prefer open heath with areas of light scrub. The site is also notable for its populations of reptiles and insects. These include the adder and glowworms. Oh yeah, and this caught your interest, didn't it?
Yeah.
The reserve has a history of previous military use. Any unusual objects encountered should be left undisturbed and their location reported to the reserve manager or to the police as soon as possible.
Ooh.
So we could find bombs, anything. Who knows? That's the little map. And there we go. Right, let's crack on.
Here we go.
Here we go, into the woods. Alright guys, we've just arrived in the village at Dunwich on the Suffolk coast. Church is in front of us. Jake's just looking at the war memorial. There's a lot of D of E's. In case you're not unaware of that, that's the Duke of Edinburgh Wall Challenge. I think, yeah, we only do it in this country, don't we? It's not like America or anything, for any overseas viewers. And yeah, I think it's like, is it school kids or something, and they have to do,
yeah, secondary school,
and they have to do loads of different like challenges and stuff. And what? Oh yeah, all right. And yeah, and one of the things they have to do is usually sort of like long distance hiking and camping and stuff like that. So yeah, I think this geezer wants to come round here. Here we go. He looked like a proper space cadet. That is so cool. Oh, what's he running it off of? Paraffin? Oh, that's pretty cool. He looked like he was going to Woodstock. Right, we are heading that way, I believe.
Yep.
So, yeah, we'll get to the museum. There's the ship pub at Dunwich, which Jake's very interested in.
Read the sign.
We look at. Oh yeah. There's the.
Hour.
Oh yeah, there's the museum.
Yeah.
Shuts in an hour. We're probably not going to get round it all in an hour.
No,
though.
we're not. No.
It's free to get in though. That's good.
Ooh.
Right, let's crack on. Apologies for any of the wind noises on the camera. It is really windy as we're by the coast now. Right, so this is St James's Church in Dunwich, and these ruins here are the remains of the Norman arches that form part of the leper hospital in the grounds of the church here. So they kept them separate from the rest of the church, and yeah, looked after all the people suffering from leprosy, which I think is pretty much a phased out disease now. You don't really get that anymore. Is there a cure for it?
There must be.
And here we are. So yeah, I saw all this when I did Suffolk Coast Path a few years ago now, so bringing back good memories this. Really nice here. So just have a little walk in here. There's a few information boards, so I'll read them to you. Weather at the moment, the weather's sort of a bit cloudy. It was sunny earlier, but it's looking a bit, I don't know, a little bit more overcast now. Go. Jake likes a bit of history as well, doesn't you?
Of course.
Yep, good company then. The ruins in front of you are all that remain of a leper hospital that dates back over 800 years. The history of the chapel is unclear. It was founded in the reign of Richard I in 1206 and was maintained with rent from land given by Walter de Riboff. It's probably not how he's pronounced his name, but anyway, this paid for the building of the hospital and chapel together with the maintenance of the lepers, probably never more than about 20 men and women, and the salary of a master to run the hospital and a chaplain. The whole building, over 100 feet long, was built of stone brought from Caen in Normandy and of local flint. Later repairs were made with various types of stone, suggesting that it was salvaged from other buildings in the town which were about to disappear into the sea. So yeah, as I mentioned, Dunwich was once, I think, one of the biggest like ports in the country. Maybe, I don't know, even as far as Europe, I'm not sure. And yeah, there's like a couple of violent storms and basically wiped away most of the town, so yeah, a lot of it's fallen into the sea, which makes it a really, really interesting place, I think. The last leper was buried there in 1536, but it carried on as a more general hospital for the aged and infirm. The chapel became so ruinous it was abandoned in 1685, and the master and a handful of paupers lived on in a dilapidated house nearby. The present parish church was built close by in 1830, by which time most of the old town of Dunwich had disappeared, and the vault of the Barn family was dug within the ruins of the hospital. Further decay was halted in 2009 when a thorough restoration was completed. Sorry this is going on a bit, guys, but as I say, well, I find it quite interesting, so I'm going to read you a little bit more. There was probably an existing parish church of St James on the site, which was converted into the lepers' chapel, and the hospital was added. The remains of the chapel consist of a rectangular chancel and a semicircular apse where the altar would have been. Remains of the ornate arch which separated the chancel and apse still survived, and in the late 18th century, when Byrne made his engraving of the ruins, the round-headed arcading is typical of the Norman style of the 12th century. To your left is the north wall of the hospital. It would have been an open hall, 60 feet long and divided up along both sides into cubicles, perhaps with curtains or wooden screens, but open enough for each occupant to be able to see into the chapel at the end and participate in worship, even if they were unable to get out of bed. It's very thoughtful of them.
Yeah.
So,
Stained glass.
hang on a minute, that's the ruins in 1797. And then, so of course these were drawings at the time. And then that is the ruins in 1824. So there we go. And then that's about caring for the outcasts. So of course, like, lepers were basically not allowed as in society really, so they used to carry the bell. So, you know, they'd ring that when they was coming along, so people would like clear the streets, I guess, to avoid them, because, you know, they were seen as like a contagious disease. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there's no more cases of leprosy now anywhere, I don't think.
No.
That's a reconstruction of how the leper hospital might have looked in the Middle Ages. Leper hospitals were built outside towns, and if lepers went into town, they had to warn others by ringing a bell. When it was built, the Dunwich Leper Hospital was outside the Pales Dyke, the fortified ditch that ran around the landward side of the town in the parish of St James. So inside the graveyard here at St James's Church is basically, it's the buttress, the last remaining buttress of the last remaining church of the old town of Dunwich before it fell into the sea. And as you can see, it's fairly tall. Jake stood next to it. You're what, 6'2"?
Yeah.
So pretty tall.
10 foot.
We're about 10 foot, he reckons.
Maybe more.
So yeah, if you look, sort of, if you Google Dunwich, like old photos of the town and stuff, you'll see like these really dramatic black and white photos from like the turn of the century, 1900s that is, of course, of like the cliffs at Dunwich, and there's like a church tower perched right on the edge of the cliffs, where basically the coast here erodes like the cliffs and that, and it's very sort of unstable sort of ground, so it's, yeah, prone to coastal erosion, and it's just battering the cliffs and the land, and yeah, just literally wiped everything away. And that was the last piece remaining of the final church. There was apparently, I think, 6 churches at one time in Dunwich's heyday, so they basically retrieved this and stuck it here in the inland church. Right, just outside the church I found those old photos I was talking about, the buttress of All Saints Church. In the churchyard corner is the last buttress of All Saints Church. This church was built in the 14th century and closed in 1778. The church fell over the cliff between 1904 and 1919. Its last buttress was rebuilt here in 1923. So you can see, look at that, it's a brilliant photo there, that's in 1903, and then the land has gone all the way back to just there, look, in 1919. It looks really creepy, that, like,
It does.
they
Eerie,
could,
yeah.
really eerie, they could make some seriously good horror films here. For nearly 60 years Dunwich was without a parish church. St James's Church was built here in 1830 to provide a place of worship. The design was a simple white brick church in the classical style with a low tower with a domed top. A change of taste led to local Victorians altering the church in 1845. The walls were clad with flint, arched windows were introduced, and a square tower replaced the dome. The chancel was added in 1881. So yeah, there's what they changed it to. And I've sort of read through that already. Right. So this is inside the church at St James, Dunwich. Once again, apologies if it keeps going in and out of focus. I've much to learn about filming and photography and editing. Very, very nice church. There's the roof. I think that's where the vicar goes to make tea. Just been in there. Just been. Can't take him anywhere. Wow.
Oh, wow.
I'm amazed that it's actually open. Hang on a sec.
All the seats.
Yeah.
They've got heaters behind them.
Heated seats. Luxury.
Look at that. All of them.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
nice.
Splash the cash up in
Last time I was in a church, I said that I'm not really Christian, but I tell you what, for that I might just convert. I believe in Jesus and that. If heated seats on a Sunday, that's not bad. I'll probably edit that bit out. Right, we're outside the museum in Dunwich, so this is going to show us sort of like the history of the town of Dunwich and the surrounding area. We haven't got a lot of time, so we might have a quick look round it. This is the Ship pub in Dunwich. Really, really nice pub. This does really good food, good drinks, and we're going to stop in here for a little bit. So as we're going to be wild camping somewhere in the vicinity later on tonight, we're going to come back to the pub tonight for a bit of dinner, a few drinks, and then we'll head out. So you'll see more of the Ship later on. Okay, so back to the walk-in. We've now joined the Suffolk Coast paths, those blue discs with the yellow arrow on them. Like I say, I've done that a few years ago. Museum was really good. We stopped in there. We was only in there about 15-20 minutes. I spent far too much money on books and stuff, but the gleam in their eyes, wasn't it? As I handed them the money over, there was like, oh, big spenders, we can close early. But
she said she sold 2 postcards all day.
yeah,
£1.
I come in, bought how many books? 4 books.
4 or 5 books for a bit.
Yeah, bricks. Yep. So Tony Robinson's with me. So yeah, we're on the Suffolk Coast path now, and it also joins up with the Suffolk Sandlins walk. We're going to be heading towards, I think we're going straight on, mate. Yeah, I believe so. I hope so. Yeah, we're going to be coming up to Greyfriars, like the sort of the remains of the monastery there. So that's another point of historical interest on the route. Like I say, Dunwich has got a lot of history, so maybe if I get time I might even make a separate video on the history of Dunwich with all the guidebooks I now have. So beware of cliff edge. So you see the coastal erosion here. Lots of these Alexander plants again. So Steve from Sea Veg, cheers for informing us, mate, about those. There we are. Oh. And I can hear the sea. I tell you what, the waves here are really strong. Like you can, it's probably why most of the town has disappeared and coastal erosion is such a threat. We've got a sea view coming up. Oh yes, Tom Outdoors goes coastal. Look at that. I can't get too close to the cliff. Yes. There's some fishermen down there.
That's a long way down.
That is a long way down.
Choppy.
It's a bit choppy.
That's what's missed in it. You can't even see down the coast.
Yeah. This is the last surviving gravestone from the churchyard of the medieval Church of All Saints, which lay about 40 metres to the east of this spot. Old bones still occasionally weather out of the cliff face. The church was disused from 1758 and fell over the eroding cliff between 1904 and 1920. The last tower buttress was dismantled and rebuilt in the present churchyard of St James's Church. So that's what we saw earlier in the church. The gravestone reads, in memory of Jacob Forster, who departed this life March the 12th, 1796, aged 38 years. So yeah, the cliff is very close. You can actually just see through the trees here. We haven't got far to go to the beach below and the sea. So this is Greyfriars at Dunwich. One of the most important ancient monuments in Suffolk. It is one of the last and the most complete remains of the ancient city of Dunwich, once a thriving medieval port and a major East Anglican centre, now almost entirely lost to the sea. The Order of St Francis was established in the 13th century by Francis of Assisi. His intention was to create an order of monks who lived and worked within the community, relying on donations for their survival. The Franciscan rule was ratified by the Pope in 1223 and rapidly spread across Europe, founding new communities. By 1230 there were 16 friaries in England, and by the end of the 13th century there were 54. Dunwich Greyfriars was founded at this time. The friars were popular with townspeople as they helped tend the sick and care for the poor. They were also great preachers, and most friaries built churches to attract large congregations. In many towns the Franciscans were resented by the other religious orders and the local parish priests. In Dunwich there was a Benedictine cell, a Greyfriars and Blackfriars monastery, a temple and numerous parish churches, so competition for attendees must have been fierce. The friaries were at their peak in the 14th and 15th centuries. During this period they amassed considerable wealth through donations of money and land, moving away from their original ideal. By the 16th century the public was increasingly disillusioned with the Catholic religious orders, and in 1535 Henry VIII started the process known as the dissolution of the monasteries, and within a few years the Franciscan friaries in England had ceased to exist. Right, we're about a mile away from the village of Westleton again. That's of course the start and finish of the walk. It's been a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, it felt like we got lost a bit ago.
Yeah,
we in that forest, but
got a little bit lost in sort of like
bushy heath.
I believe Bushy Heath. I think it was Dunwich Heath.
Yeah.
Westleton Walks is the actual name of like the kind of like the forest area and stuff. It was really nice through there. And yeah, now we're just heading back along this, I believe it's called Mill Road, little country lane, back to the village, and then we're going to head off to the pub.
Woo!
Yep, something to eat, fish and chips,
Hopefully.
a few drinks, and then yeah, we're going to find somewhere to wild camp. Alright guys, we're back in Westleton, and it's 10 to 7. That was a really good walk, that.
Started at 2 o'clock.
Started at 2 o'clock, and we've
Supposed to about 4 and a bit hours.
4 and a bit hours. I mean, that's because we stopped in the museum at Dunwich. We stopped everywhere there was history, basically. So, you know, it's always going to take a bit longer. There's a couple of good pubs here. We are going to head to the ship in Dunwich.
Yeah, might as well do it.
Still going to do that. Get some dinner, a few drinks there, and yeah. So, cheers for watching, and yeah.
Catch you next time.
We'll catch you next time. Cheers. See you later.